So we're today studying Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapters 29, text 15 and 16. Vaishasam Narako Padyo, Lubakom Dal Tamav Shrinu, Hastapadao Pamam Stavyam, Yuktayate Karoti Cha. Vaishasam, name Vaishasya, Narakam, hell, Payu, the working sense in the rectum, Libdaka, name Lubdaka, very greedy, Ando, blind, to, then, may, to me, Shrinu, listen, Hastapado, hands and legs, Puman, the living entity, Pavyam, with them, Yukta, being engaged, Yati, goes, Karoti, works, Cha, and. Translation. When it is said that Paranjana goes to Vaishasya, it is meant that he goes to hell. He is accompanied by Ludaka, which is the working sense in the rectum. Formerly, I have also spoken of two blind associates. These associates should be understood to be the hands and legs, being helped by the hands and legs. Living entity performs all kinds of work and moves hither into text 16. Antaparam Sharipayam, Vishachur Mana Uchate, Tattamo Prasadam Va, Harsham Papnati Tadgunai. The word Antapara refers to the heart. The word Vishuchina means going everywhere and indicates the mind. Within the mind, the living entity enjoys the effects of modes of material nature. These effects sometimes cause illusion, sometimes satisfaction, and sometimes jubilation. Purport. The mind and intelligence of living entity in material existence are affected by the modes of material nature. And according to the association of the material modes, the mind is habituated to go here and there. The heart feels satisfaction, jubilation, or illusion according to the effects of the modes of material nature. Actually, the living entity in its material condition remains inert. It is the modes of material nature that act on the mind and heart. The results are enjoyed or suffered by the living entity. This is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita 3:27. Bhaktite kriyamanani gunaikamani sarvashaha ahankara vimudatma katahamiti manyute. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself a doer of activities that are actually carried out by nature. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragalitam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakan Vitam Cha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Svamaniti Namane Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtajari Shakarine. So, someone may think, oh, this is wonderful. I had illicit sex, I got intoxicated, I ate some meat, I gambled. But it wasn't me. I didn't do it. It was the modes. I'm not responsible for all this. Ki jai. I can go ahead, but whatever the modes want me to go down to some tavern and get drunk. That's the modes, not me. I can, whatever the modes want me to do, I surrender the modes. They may say like that. So what's the deal? Well, they have to suffer a karmic reaction. The modes did it, and they didn't do it. It's an interesting question, isn't it? I have the answer. Let's say there's some street gang in my neighborhood, right? And I decided to join the street gang. And there's a gang leader who says, do this, do that, rob this house, go here, go there, rape that woman, whatever he said. I'm acting under the guidance of the gang leader. So my responsibility, the gang leader is his order. He told me to rape that woman or rob the bank. I'm not really responsible for this because, again, I just followed the gang leader's instructions. Well, guess what? You chose to join the gang. So whatever you did, as they order the gang leader, you're responsible for every one of these things. So even though the modes are doing it, you're being manipulated by the modes to go here, drink this, have this, do that. Because you gave up your position of serving Krishna and decided to be under the, act independently, you're responsible. So it doesn't work. You can't get out of the karmic reaction because the modes did it. You surrendered to the modes, therefore you're responsible for everything the modes dictate you to do. So you may have found a loophole, or sorry, there is no loophole. You're responsible, like it or not. You gotta face the music, as they say. Whatever you have to, whatever you've done, you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay the price. And also, anything you accomplish, you should be very proud of it. Oh, I became a powerful politician to see how great I am. No, it's just because it's just the modes of nature. Once again, you can't take credit for having accomplished something very wonderful because actually it was just a reaction under the modes of nature for previous pious activities. So it's kind of interesting subject matter. And we can, by reading Prabhupada's books, you see these are called controversies, philosophical controversies, can all be resolved if you go deep into Prabhupada's teachings. In other words, this is not some blind faith dogma. This stuff is a science. Maybe confusing sometimes, but I guarantee you, if you read these books, it'll all become very, very clear. So whatever confusion is there, fine. As neophyte devotees, we're oftentimes confused by these teachings. Let's face the fact. Seems contradictory, or what's going on here? But if you keep reading, and while you're engaged nicely in service, the Super Soul is also within to help you understand these things. And the Super Soul is manifested externally in the form of the spiritual master, especially our Srila Prabhupada. So you got two friends. You have the Super Soul, within you have the Super Soul, externally you have the spiritual masters. The Diksha Guru and the Siksha Gurus. We have many Siksha Gurus. Like that little sparrow is one of our Siksha Gurus. She's our Guru Maharaj, also a little sparrow. So we have many places. We have Guru within, Guru without. Guru is without. So let's take advantage of all these things, and the good news is by doing that, then it becomes crystal clear what is actually the science of bhakti. And also by putting into practice, as I many times gave the example of a little kid in high school, Westbury High School in Houston, Texas. I remember the teacher said, students, H2O equals water. Now we're going to the laboratory down. We got one other classroom down, went down a few doors there and into the laboratory, and we did it in the test tube. She showed us how to do it, and we actually did it. I combined two parts. I don't know how I did. I don't remember how I did it, but she showed us how to do it. And in my test tube, H2O and the lower bowl was water right there in the test tube. Yeah. So we know this process is bona fide because it works. Truth works. How do you know Krishna is God? You see, well, by giving my heart to Him, I felt a reciprocation. I can understand. It philosophically makes all kinds of sense. First of all, that how something came out of nothing, or a little, nothing comes out of nothing. So there must be something that it came out of, and what is the nature of that something? You can judge you can take the qualities of what is produced from that original something and understand the original something also. If the emanation of the original something possesses personality, we see there's thousands, millions, and billions, and quadrillions, etc., of living beings with consciousness. If they're emanating from that supreme something must also have consciousness. That means consciousness means a rag, no, consciousness means a person. So the idea of God being a person makes all kinds of logical sense. It's scientific, philosophically valid conception. So then who is that supreme person? You say, well, somebody says this, somebody says that. Well, you can investigate. And you can study all the different options. Well, some people would say, this, that. You can study all the options and see who actually best fits the definition. And after research, you will see that actually Krishna fits the bill. Krishna is the best example of somebody. In Christianity, we learn that God is an old man. But is that logical? The supreme controller who controls everything, even time is under his direction. We want to be an old man, walking around with a four-pronged cane, struggling with his aching body. I mean, does it make any sense? That God would be an old man? I mean, let's look at it logically. Is old age enjoyable? Is it blissful to have an aching body and, hearing aid and thick glasses? I mean, is that fun? No, it's miserable. So why would God be him in a miserable position if he's the controller of everything? So the idea from the Vedas is Navi Yovanam Cha. He's an eternal youth. Navi Yovanam. A fresh Nava is fresh or new. Yovanam, youth. He's a fresh youth, not a stale old youth. Getting ready to move to middle age. No, he's a fresh youth. Like when you pick a flower, it's very nice, isn't it? After a while, it becomes like we have these flowers here. They're freshly picked. They're kind of nice, right? But by tomorrow, they're losing their, isn't it? They're losing their freshness, isn't it? So in the same way, God is an ever fresh youth, like a freshly picked flower, ever fresh youth. So if you study all these different scriptures and ideas and conceptions, the idea of Krishna is the most logical, sensible thing to understand. So we can go to see where the science of Krishna is being taught in full detail. That comes from the Acharyas, the great Vaishnava Acharyas. They are teaching the science of bhakti in a very powerful, scientific, detailed way, and not even more powerful in their teachings by words, they're teaching by example. This is called acharya. Even there's a popular saying, actions speak louder than words. So somebody not only talks about it, but they live it. They live it, you see. Just like Prabhupada, the perfect example of an acharya. He was living Krishna bhakti with every thought, every word, with every deed in all times, places, and circumstances. We could see here's a living example of the teachings of Krishna consciousness, put into practice. It was amazing to see such a personality, how much energy he had, even in an old man's body after 2 heart attacks. He had so much energy, it was inconceivable. With so much energy, so much radiance, so much youthfulness. Yeah, I mean, usually you see old people, they become like worn down and depressed, they're kind of like, old people. The old folks home, we went to the old folks home in Toronto, and they're all like, they're sitting there watching some TV show, like, it's all like they're sitting in their wheelchairs and watch TV. Too bad we couldn't introduce Krishna Bhakti in the old folks home. They're all sitting around in their wheelchairs, like watching television. But the thing is that Prabhupada is a similarly old man, but he's full of radiance. He's full of taking these morning walks with his cane. He had a cane, but the youth had a hard time even keeping up with him. He was great exuberance, and enthusiasm, and brilliance. His brain was incredible, but how he could react to philosophy. I mean, he could defeat all arguments. That his famous morning walk, I was talking about our sex life. Actually, the verse is "tucham," means indeed, and "tucham" means insignificant. Papa also translated it abominable. Sex life is "tucham," and then Saru Damodar has a PhD in science. He said, "Papa, how to continue the species?" And Prabhupada, he said, "You finish it, this condemned world." Very brilliantly. I mean, in debate, you couldn't touch Prabhupada. He could defeat everybody. Amazing, amazing personality. Especially that interview in New York. Swamiji, why do your students, why do they dress in such a strange fashion? Prabhupada, he handled the reporters so expertly. This is our preaching, but some other grab to attack your attention. Brilliant, so brilliant brain. I mean, not even youth couldn't keep up with his brilliant philosophical expertise. So we saw these amazing things, and able to write thousands of letters. Can you imagine? I see those letters. He had thousands of disciples, and so many letters coming in. It was a big thing, and how he would answer my letters, it's like, and it's all personal touch also. He told me, I can see you're very sincere and enthusiastic boy, eager to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. Now continue enthusiastically as you're doing, and Srila Krishna will bless you. And these were not carbon copies, some standard email. He sent. No, he had a specific. He could tune into that individual personality's mood. Even though he wasn't seeing you, he could tune into your mood and reply exactly to your mood, precisely. And then the personal touch at the end, he signed his name, and then the same pen, P.S. We're going to Nairobi on Friday night. Can you imagine? Like the father and the son, like an insider within the family members. Oh, by the way, we're going down to the park today. We're going swimming in Zilker Park today. Like a so personal touch. It was amazing. So this way Prabhupada captured our hearts, captured our hearts. No one gave us such loving kindness. We never experienced such love in our whole, probably in millions of lifetimes. Never experienced such a loving feeling. So now it's up to his followers to try to at least even do 1/millionth of what he could do. The way we deal with people. It's like I had 420 disciples around the world. So how to try to deal with them in the same way that Prabhupada dealt with me. It's a real challenge. A real challenge. How to keep up with his mood, following in the footsteps. It's like Prabhupada's walking on the beach to keep up with him walking down the beach. How I can keep up with Prabhupada's mood, his brilliance, his compassion, his intelligence, his purity. All these things are there. So these great acharyas are there. Krishna sends these great acharyas here to show us what does it actually mean to be a devotee of Krishna. So we can see it's not just something written down in a book. Something is actually practiced. Something is actually vibrated. Something is actually celebrated every minute and every second. That song of Bhakti Vinod is so nice. Bhakti Vinod Bush Ekpanamasi Mastave. Just once relish the nectar, So Prabhupada was somebody who was relishing the nectar at every second, every nanosecond. He was unlimitedly tasting the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So we can, Bhakti Vinod is telling us just once. So if we can even just once relish this nectar, then our whole life will be transformed. So such a person can revolutionize the whole material existence. Can even one time relish the nectar of Hare Krishna. So, does anybody have any questions yet? What about our locals here at 10700 John Way, Austin? Yes.
Shilakita, the example that you gave of following a rogue, following a gang leader.
Following what?
Gang leader, who is the example that you gave.
Of what example?
On the street, you follow a gang leader, and then if he asks you to do something bad, you do it.
The gang leader, yeah.
In that case, where we see that both are living entities, the gang leader and the person is following. Yeah. But in this case, only the soul is the living entity. So how are we following three modes?
The soul makes the mistake of falling into the mode. The soul wants to be independent, so the soul takes the leadership of the modes.
Like in the example that you gave, there is a leadership, there is a person, there is actually someone who is actually thinking and living.
Well, Maya Devi is there, Durga Devi is there. Yeah. I would rather serve Durga than serve Krishna. She's the prison warden. She's a prison warden. Well, I'll work serving Krishna when I serve there. If I have some, I can think I'm independent. Does that make sense? Yes. Let's see if we have any. No, Guru Maharaji, I should have asked you first to speak something. Let's see. Guru Maharaji is there now. Guru Maharaji, you'd like to add some words of wisdom to enlighten us? Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaji, are you there? Okay, not there. Well, let's see if we have anything in the chat window coming in. Any questions rolling in the chat window, if I can find it. Where is the chat window? Let's see. Here we go. Nothing typed in there. Well, we can end the class. We've been going on for quite a while. Any questions? More? We'll look a little deeper then. Maybe go a few more minutes here. the mind and the intelligence of living in material existence are affected by the modes of material nature. In other words, you're thinking, intelligence means analyzing, analyzation, the function of the intelligence, and the mind is fixing on this, fixing on that, fixing on this and that. So these are all under the a non-devotee, his analyzing propensity and his mind, his focusing propensities are all uncontrolled by the modes. So that's why you can analyze things in a completely bogus way. Well, I think it all came out of a chunk, a big chunk. These scientists, you see, they're analyzing. There was some original organism. I put it in thought for the day. Some original organism, and it all came out of that one little tiny little organism. And all these different species, they came out of bacteria, all the way to the large blue whales. They all come as little tiny organisms sitting out there somewhere in space, sitting on the Earth planet somewhere. They really, they think, well, they were thinking 400 billion years ago. Now we've understood it's 420 billion years ago. So now we should get a special prize. We realize it's not 400 billion years, it's 420 billion years. Now we should recognize a great scientist. We found 20 extra billion years. So we're great scientists, you see. We got 20 more billion years on it. But they don't realize 155 trillion years ago, this universe, that's when Mahavishnu exhaled and this universe came out of his breathing. I don't know if it popped. Came out of his breathing 155 trillion years ago. It came out. And they're proud of 420 billion. It's so stupid. It's so ridiculous. And we have to give them Nobel Prizes. And we have to study their textbooks in school and go to science class in the school. I really appreciate it. There was one song that they back in the hippie era, when one of the big songwriters, he said, I saw a great blunder my teachers had made, scientific delirium madness. It was really right on, he said like that. And he still says it. Now he's an 80-year-old man, he still says scientific delirium madness. We have to come to God, he says. He's not even about it, but still he says religion is where it's at, not the scientific delirium madness. So we really have, there's a fact, we should not follow these bogus so-called scientists. Actually, there's two terms, net science and nescience. They should call them, knee scientists. I don't know if that's a word like that exists, but we should maybe make that a new word in the English language. Knee scientists. Let's add that to the dictionary, knee scientists. Wouldn't it be nice to put that in Webster's dictionary, knee scientists? They sometimes add new words, you see. They become commonly spoken, they put them in the dictionary. So we should start talking about knee scientists. Maybe they'll put it in the dictionary. If you say it enough places, they put it added in the dictionary. So we should have that added in the dictionary, knee scientists. So we can follow the scientists. The real scientists are the Vedic scientists. The evam parampara pratamim amrajashayo. This is our real scientists, those who know things as they are and present it and teach it as it is. You see. Bhagavad Gita as it is. You see. This is real science. So I see nobody has any questions, any comments, corrections, inspirations, anything. It's open forum here right now. Anybody who wants to speak something, they can put it in the chat window, type it in. Right now there's an empty chat window. If I'm looking at it correctly, maybe I'm not familiar with this iPad. Maybe, is this the right place? It says chat. I guess that's the right place. There's no chatters out there? Oh, here we go. Amala Purana. What made Srila Prabhupada so dear to everyone? Now, that's a very nice question, Amala Purana. Thank you very much. Prabhupada, the reason, just like I get a letter, my dear Sankarshan Das. Is that just on the lips, or is that in the heart? But every single disciple of Prabhupada is very, 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 very dear to him. Because we were so dear to Prabhupada, he was very dear to us. It's a reciprocation, loving reciprocation. So the bona fide spiritual master takes sometimes he would say, my dear sons. Actually, I think, yeah, I think one letter when I got initiated, the three of us said, "My dear sons." So just like a son, just like you have a son, he's very dear to you naturally. So that affection, the parental affection, is a natural function. So the spiritual master feels parental affection for each and every one of his disciples. And one goes away. It's like if the son runs away from home and gives up for the parents, that's devastating, isn't it? Devastating to the parents. So this probably every single disciple is the most dear, affectionate object of affection. You see. So that's why Prabhupada was so dear to us, because we were so dear to him. It's an excellent question. Thank you for asking that. And for the Vaishnavacharya, every single living entity is dear. That's why he doesn't want to kill even a little ant. You see. Every single living entity in all of existence. See, this is part and parcel of Krishna. This is one of Krishna's dear children. Every single living entity is the dearmost child of Lord Krishna. You see. Even the mosquito, he was a great person on the spiritual world. By his fall down in his karma, now he's a mosquito. You see. But every single living entity is a very, very dear child of Krishna. Very, very dear, unlimitedly dear. Every single living being. Even these rascal politicians, these rascal warmongers, they're also very dear to Krishna. The guys and Madais. So, that's an excellent question. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions, or we can call it quits? We can call it quits. Quits. Nothing else. Let's see how many people we have today. Now, there might be a small number today because up to 40. There's some big computer outage right now in the world. Many flights are canceled. Huge computer outage. So we may be missing something because of the computer outage. Let's see what we got here now. Chat window. Okay. Now we got Pradana Gopika Devi Dasi. How to increase that love for Prabhupada? Well, it's a very nice question. I appreciate it, Pradana Gopika Devi Dasi. By the more you can associate with Prabhupada, your love for him will naturally increase. You might read his books, the more you, especially these morning walks. I really like him in the morning walk. There's a special intimacy in the morning walks. And the lectures also, but the more you can hear Prabhupada, the more you can read his books, the more you can serve him by serving his mission, by chanting your japa. You can follow his instructions. Prabhupada is personally present in his instructions. The spiritual master is more present in his instructions than he is in his physical body. His physical body right now is buried in Vrindavan, in that wonderful samadhi there in Vrindavan. You can go to Vrindavan and bow down in his samadhi and beg for his mercy. That please, my dear Srila Prabhupada, bless me, I can awaken unlimited love for you. That's another little insider secret. Or you can do it even far away here in wherever you are, in Austin or Bulgaria or wherever. Maybe you can beg Prabhupada, please bless me, I can awaken pure feelings of love for you. So there's many things you can do. And but I guarantee you, hearing him is one of the best ways. Hearing his voice, how he speaks, how he reciprocates. It's really, really incredible stuff, as they say. Incredible stuff. That's a very good question. You go down with any of that. How can I get free from the modes? Well, my dear disciple, Yogadharma Devi Das, there's only one way to get free from the modes. The modes means that you're in prison. You're shackled, you see. You got the shackles of Brahmagun, Madhagun, Sattvagun. You're shackled by these modes. You're shackled. So how do you get free? You got to become a good law-abiding citizen. You have to show that you're actually worthy of being released from the prison. You have to be an ideal prisoner, fully cooperative. Just like they sometimes give paroles to good prisoners, they let them out because they show they're model prisoners, very cooperative with prison authorities. That they don't cause any trouble. They're not trying to do anything dirty behind the back. They're very ideal prisoners. They're very cooperative with the prison authorities. So if you show that you're very cooperative, very submitted to these teachings of Bhagavad Gita, you're very submitted to your spiritual master, You have good. You don't become offended if somebody offends you. You're very forgiving if somebody offends you. That's the mood of a devotee. It doesn't matter how much you offend a devotee. He doesn't take offense. Like Lord Jesus, when he was stuck. Can you imagine being nailed to a cross? How else that be? Some nails through your hands and feet, stuck on a cross, bleeding and stuck there, left to die. How horrible that would be. He said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Instead of saying that these damn rascals, curse them. How dare they do this to me? No, he said, Father, he prayed to God, please forgive them. So they don't know what they're doing. They don't realize how sinful they've been. So please forgive them. So who's the mood of a Vaishnava? He's very, very forgiving, never takes offense. So when you have this mood of, follow the footsteps of the great acharyas, follow the example of Lord Jesus Christ, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, all the Haridas Thakur, you see. You follow the footsteps of these great acharyas, and you'll be released from the prison, free from the modes. Bye-bye modes. Hello, Krishna. Okay, now we have Pradhana Gopika Devi. Prabhupada, how was Prabhupada so determined to make the world Krishna conscious? Well, it was his Guru Maharaj, his spiritual master's order. Because he was dedicated to his spiritual master, that's why he was so determined to make the world Krishna conscious. And so as your grace is, and here I'm struggling to make myself Krishna conscious. Well, I'm trying my little bit to get out of Maya and have that mood. And Prabhupada encouraged me in that way. Continue enthusiastically. You're doing it. Surely Krishna will bless you. Enthusiasm to make the world Krishna conscious. Prabhupada fanned the fire in my heart. I had a desire to make the world Krishna conscious. He fanned the fire in my heart. So the beauty of it is, Pradhana Gopika Devi Dasi, the beauty of it is, struggling to make ourselves Krishna conscious, the more you become Krishna conscious, the more you'll naturally want to spread Krishna conscious. It's not two different things. It's all one. It's a package deal here. Because what we sing every morning, I've said it many times, Bahir Nasinga Hridaye Nasinga. It means Krishna consciousness within and Krishna consciousness without. Within Krishna consciousness internally and externally. You see. So it works. Actually, it works both ways. This is the amazing thing. The more you awaken your Krishna consciousness, the more you'll be able, you're empowered to deliver Krishna consciousness to others, and the more you'll be enlivened to serve Krishna consciousness to others. And it works the other way too. The more you actually engage in preaching activities, it purifies your heart. So work either end, and the other end gets so like I say many times, from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. Your Krishna consciousness, and 9 to 5, deliver the world, and 5 to 9, your own Krishna consciousness. It's like you go to work, right? My job is to make, what's your job? Well, my job is to make more Krishna consciousness. Somebody asked me, how do you like your job? I said, ecstatic, my job is to make the world Krishna conscious. That's my job, that's the job I'm working in. But before you go to work, you have to get ready for your job. So your job, Pradhana Gopika, is make the world Krishna conscious. But to be qualified to do that work, you have to have a good sadhana. So make your sadhana very good, and that will empower you to become a Vaishnava Acharya, actually. You're completely fallen souls. Doesn't matter, man, woman, we even have great Vaishnava Acharyas in women's body also. Guru Maharaj is a prime example now, also Janava Mata, she is initiating disciple. The wife of Nityananda Prabhu, initiating guru, initiating disciples. So there are many examples. Powerful preachers, male or female body, doesn't matter. It's transcendental to your male or female body. Okay. Padmakshi Devi Dasi. All glory Srila. Okay. As I have heard from Srila Prabhupada, the process of Krishna consciousness, of surrender to Krishna, is completed by a sincere person after executing the process of self-realization, my wisdom and austerities. Let me read it more carefully. Slow. As I have heard from Srila Prabhupada, that the process of surrender to Krishna is completed by a sincere person after executing the process of self-realization in wisdom and austerity for many births. Could you please elaborate more on this, Srila Guruji? Well, my dear disciple, that means that actually you qualified yourself by previous lifetimes to come to this position. By pious activities in previous lifetimes, now you qualified yourself to come to this position of Krishna consciousness. So you, in the past, you executed so many activities, and now I've qualified you to be the Krishna's devotee. This is the result of you're coming to Krishna consciousness as a result of previous activities in previous lifetimes. So now don't blow it. You've got to take advantage of your previous pious activities, your previous activities for self-realization. Take advantage of them. That's why you took birth in India. You took birth because of previous pious activities for self-realization. India is the land of self-realization. It's not by accident you took birth there. Okay. Now we have Bhaktan Shila. I understand being initiated is only beginning. Like getting admission into the university, but please enlighten what is the first thing I focus on about my mood and conduct. Being totally sold out serving your spiritual master. Totally sold out serving your spiritual master. Just like you're in the university, you go to the classes, right? Go to the classes, do your homework, show up for the exams, right? You're totally surrendered of the university. If you want to make good grades and graduate, you have to do what you're told. Here's your classes, here's your textbooks, here's your reading assignment, here's your writing. You do what you're told. And you get a degree. The same thing. You're enrolled, now do what you're told. Chant your rounds, follow the principles. Whatever instructions you get from Guru, follow them. And that will qualify you. Okay, now we have, let's see. Zahil Zale. More and more, how can I do more and more book distribution to please your grace? Every chance you get, give out the books. Every chance you get, simple thing. If there's devotees going out, if there's some devotees going book distribution, go out with them. If there's someone expert, go out with them. Just like my disciple in Los Angeles, he's going out with Vrigopati, my very, actually a senior book distributor. He's my age in his 70s. He's still going out regularly. Tons of books. My disciple, Bhakti Avatar, is going out with him, his partner. That way he can learn from him. You see. So somebody who's very expert, go out with them on book distribution. That's a good example. Okay. Hare Krishna Das. For a householder working as an employee, what should be the standard of morning sadhana? Well, it's obvious. 16 rounds. Everyone should have a Mangal Arti. Mangal Arti should be a standard. And if you can, and Tulsi worship, those two things. And Guru Puja. You can do those three things. And depends on your time. Depends on how much time you have available. So yeah, Mangal Arti is the must. When I joined, all we had was Mangal Arti. That was the whole Bhagavatam. It's all we had for the morning. Then later on, a new thing came, Tulsi worship. And then a few years later, even a newer thing, Guru Puja. So the first principle is Mangal Arti. The second principle is Tulsi worship. The third is Guru Puja. And that's how Prabhupada introduced it in ISKCON. My experience, my personal membership in ISKCON showed me first thing Mangal Arti, then Tulsi, and then Guru Puja. That order Prabhupada introduced them. And then and Srimad Bhagavatam. Now it depends on your schedule. Some people have a 30-mile commute. What can I say? Depends on your schedule. Each situation is different. But the ideal thing is those four things are ideal. Those four things are absolutely ideal. Mangal Arti, Tulsi worship, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam. That's the ideal standard if you can pull it off according to your schedule. Everybody's situation is different, but that's the ideal standard. At least Mangal Arti, and of course we have a class here. So it varies according to every situation. I can't give a blanket answer for everyone. It desha kala prachas according to time, place, and circumstance. Anything else? If not, we can call it quits. Everybody's had enough? Finished? Can't take any more of this too much for me. I can't take it. Give me some sense gratification, please. Okay. If that's it, nothing more, we can stop here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.